Hey, it's your boy SergDragon, and welcome back to another edition of the Heavens Monsters podcast. With me always is Terrence, aka T-Money.
If you smell what the lion is cooking.
There we go. This time around, we're going to review July 15th and 16th of Raw and Smackdown of 2019. Here we go. So, first up, bad news, people. It's freaking Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar showing off that they are, Brock Lesnar is the new WWE three-time Universal Champion. Son of a bitch. Your thoughts? Because you didn't get to me and you saw the video, then you know that me and Xavier tore it up. What did you think?
That was pretty good.
Brock Lesnar's the WWE Universal Champion. You happy about that?
I like him as champion.
Huh?
I like Brock Lesnar as champion.
Oh, he's going on vacation after this. You know he is.
Of course, he's a part-time wrestler. Got to spend time with Sable.
Yep. So ultimately, they didn't leave without us giving us any information. They actually set up somehow. You know, it's a management in the back that did that, not him. He's just reporting what they decided. It would be a 10-man elimination battle royale to determine who would go to take on Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam next month. Today's July. On August 14th.
But you know who created those matches?
What?
Paul Heyman.
So he himself was just directing what he came up with.
Well, yeah, he's the lead writer.
Well, he would choose 10 superstars. Let's see if I can remember them all. One is Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Big E, Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn. I don't think it was Dolph Ziggler. Damn, there was a bunch of them. Shoot, I'm trying to remember who the hell was all in there. I think it's on here. Hopefully they mention it. See more. So we have Cesaro, Randy Orton, Big Show, Braun Strowman, Sami Zayn, Baron Corbin, Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio.
You just said Big Show, bro.
Roman Reigns. What did I say? Baron Corbin. Where did I say Big Show? Big E. Big E. Why did I say Big Show? Oh, what the fuck?
We missing though.
I want to see him in the ring again. They don't say everybody.
You might see him. You probably will see him next week though.
Mm-hmm.
Just talking, not no wrestling or anything.
Okay, so that's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Trying to think. No Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins was a part of that match. I'm trying to recap. Was there anybody I missed? Sami Zayn, Roman Reigns. Wait. That's weird. I'm trying to think. Who was the last one? I only mentioned 9 names. What the heck? What's going on? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, where's 10? It wasn't Elias, I know that much. It wasn't Dolph Ziggler, it wasn't that. Ricochet! Ricochet! There it is, we got a photo of Ricochet.
Because Dolph Ziggler's on SmackDown.
I think it was Ricochet. Anyway, with that said, that match would be the show at the end of the night. So let's go ahead and cover everything else. First off, we have a 6-man tag, and sure enough, with the beat up of The Undertaker and Roman Reigns beating Drew McIntyre and Shane O'Mac at Extreme Rules last Sunday, we would actually have more people showing up who haven't been getting airtime. Case in point, Bobby Roode teams up with Revival to fight against Ricochet and the Usos. So Ricochet wasn't the 9th person. That sucks. And ultimately, sadly, it would be... nope. I'm reading it wrong. Ricochet and Usos defeat the Revival and Bobby Roode, or Robert Roode. The Viking Raiders would defeat local talent. Cedric Alexander would fight Drew McIntyre and defeat him with a quick pin. And he's skeptical. He's like, I can't believe that just happened. We would have Samoa Joe fight off against Finn Balor to see who would take on Shinsuke Nakamura at Extreme Rules for the Intercontinental Championship. Ultimately, Samoa Joe defeats Finn Balor, getting the win. And Finn Balor kicks his ass because Samoa Joe just continuously attacks him after getting the win. I thought it was Finn Balor who won with another quick pin of the night. But nope. Finn Balor in his triumphant last man standing after getting jumped after he loses. The power would go out, and they would actually do this because New York has been having power outages, and it's been noted in the news. So they used that to advantage to introduce the return of Bray Wyatt as The Fiend. And boy, I could have not introduced him better. They did a good job of introducing The Fiend. Sadly, he will not fight Bray Wyatt at SummerSlam. He will fight Shinsuke Nakamura. But as he found out, it will not be as the Demon. It will be as regular Finn Balor. So with the attack of Finn Balor, from Bray Wyatt, The Fiend, to Finn Balor, he disappears, leaving Finn Balor in the ring. No idea where he's going to pop up next. We then have a very quick match, again, with actual people getting some star time. Zack Ryder fights Mike Kanellis, and a very quick match because Maria Kanellis, pregnant and all, wants to take on Zack Ryder, saying that she can get the job done and he can't. He goes in, and as soon as he goes in the ring, Zack Ryder hits him with the
Rough Rider.
Yeah, I was trying to see the first name, Rough Rider. I know it was Ryder. I saw Zack Ryder. No, it's Rough Rider. Thank you. And beats him 1, 2, 3 real quick, and his wife is not happy.
So y'all know she really is pregnant.
Mm-hmm. Next up, we would have the Club against the Lucha House Party, and the Club ends up on top. And they even beat up the Lucha House Party alongside AJ Styles to prove that they are dominant. Where it will take them, who knows?
I disagree.
With the Club being dominant?
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. Like I said.
I said NWO is dominant.
But they're not around anymore, bro.
It's still, they're not on the top list, bro.
No, I meant today.
Yes, they're still on the top list of dominant.
I meant right now. Wrestling.
Yes, they're still on the list.
No,
right now.
Wrestling right now. Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash,
no, it has to be.
They're not wrestling.
Yes, they still.
No, technically they have to be contracted and wrestling all together.
WWE is still almost half the NWO stuff, bro.
Yeah, but they're not wrestling.
Yeah, you don't have
That's what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah, you don't have to wrestle.
Oh my god,
that's
okay. No, moving on.
That's what Triple H said.
I'm talking to a wall. Anyway, next we have Natalya.
Talk to his girlfriend.
Who?
You.
Who?
You don't have to.
I'm not talking to. What the fuck? See, this wall has some stupid flyers on it. Okay, next up we have Natalya against Naomi, Alexa Bliss, and Carmella in a fatal 4-way to determine who will fight Becky Lynch at SummerSlam. Ultimately, it would be Carmella eliminated by Alexa Bliss, and then we would have Naomi eliminated down to Alexa Bliss and Natalya, and Natalya ended up making Alexa Bliss tap out. So it would be finally, after such a long time of being sit on the sidelines, we have Natalya going to a main event against Becky Lynch. And Becky Lynch said, after Natalya said that she is happy to fight her friend, "I'm not going to be your friend," says Becky Lynch. "When you come to the SummerSlam, you going to get the fight of your life, and I'm going to whoop your ass." And it said, "I'm going to like to see you try," Becky Lynch. Natalya. Yeah. Nothing on Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss having a fallout yet. Next, we would have the Miz TV with the special guest Dolph Ziggler that was actually asked of Dolph Ziggler to be on the show.
I skipped that.
Not me. I got the gif of it.
I'm like Stone Cold saying boring.
Yep. We would have Dolph Ziggler get in Miz's face talking about how he has so many opportunities and he is wasting them going on Shane McMahon and just constantly losing, and then saying that he actually insulted him by mentioning his wife, and woo, that pissed him off. He started swinging. So now we got a rivalry once again with Dolph Ziggler and The Miz. This is some old stuff right here, but new concept, up to date. This was last night, I think, yeah, Kevin Owens ripped Shane McMahon after stunning victory. I don't know who he was. He fought. That was weird. I don't even think he fought. I think this is old news. I think this is Extreme Rules news. Next, we have what was supposed to be what was it called? With Drake Maverick and his wife? What's the word? I forgot the word.
Consummate show where they have like a.
It was supposed to have a sex scene, I guess.
A sex show.
You know it ain't gonna happen.
That's what Daddy was doing.
Trying to, but you know it wasn't gonna happen. Thanks to R-Truth, we would then have him break in and have somebody bring in some food, and the referee was the bellhop or whatever.
R-Truth ruined it for me.
Yep. He was wrapping that title around his waist, making it look like he was naked. He had underwear on, thank God. He wanted to see Drake Maverick's wife show some skin.
She did, though.
A lot of skin. He wanted to see more skin.
She did. She saw the front.
Ultimately, he was pinned on the bed and new 9-time, you can say it now, 9-time 24/7 champion R-Truth. He went running out there with his underwear. In the 8-man Battle Royale, the 10-man, I said 8-man, 10-man Battle Royale, it would be one hell of a match. That was the last man, Bobby Lashley. Why is his name not mentioned in here? Because that's how I remember. Cesaro was the first to be eliminated by Bobby Lashley. Then Bobby Lashley, with injured ribs and everything from fighting Braun Strowman, gets eliminated by Braun Strowman. We would have so many eliminations, ultimately ending with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, and if I'm correct, Randy Orton. So Randy Orton eliminated Roman Reigns. Ultimately, it was down to Seth Rollins and Randy Orton, and Randy Orton was almost there to winning this match and having a last year rematch with Brock Lesnar. It would be Seth Rollins who came up on top and eliminated Randy Orton to face for a rematch with Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. Way to go, Seth Rollins. Back on top.
Randy was on SmackDown.
Yeah, Randy. It was a mix, but they had superstars from SmackDown and Raw to see who would take on Brock Lesnar. Biggie was from SmackDown. So was Roman Reigns. Sami Zayn's on Raw. Rey Mysterio's on Raw. Yeah, I think like 3 SmackDown superstars. So, with that said, I'll go ahead and look at the next one. 16th SmackDown of July. And while he's doing that, a shout out to our boys, Xavier Hill and Mike Henry. And I want to say this because our boy Andre, aka his name is Andre Mitchell. I have a link to his YouTube page as well. He doesn't do a lot of stuff as of yet. So I will say this much. He's only got like 2 things. So right now would be a good time to check out Xavier Hill and Mike Henry. And if there's anything that comes up, then go ahead. I'll be happy to mention that Andre's got some new stuff. But until then, we also got to give a shout out to our boys, Renee, Farrell, Chris Petrie, and Delvin. So a link to those 3's YouTube pages will be in the descriptions down below as always. Okay. We'll be right back until he gets it. And we're back. So let's go ahead and run it. We would then, on the beginning of SmackDown, we would have what is known as Town Hall? Conference? Really? It ain't no Town Hall. This is a freaking brand. Open mic kind of stick. But, well,
it has changed.
Yep. But here's the thing. At the beginning of the show, earlier that day, we would have Kevin Owens come in and ultimately told to leave the premises and not come in. Shane McMahon not wanting to give the satisfaction of a payday and having to have him airtime for Kevin Owens after him chewing him out. And after his match at Extreme Rules, in which was a 17-second loss for Dolph Ziggler. Forgot to mention that. Yeah, The Miz mentioned that. And the time that Mikey had was exact. Our boy Mikey, the timekeeper on his phone, was exactly. So here we go. We would have, by memory, we would have Roman Reigns come out and say that he can kiss my ass. And Shane McMahon immediately says, okay, we don't need that. Leave and you'll also be fined. I'm like, okay, what the hell? Next up to that, we would actually have people like Charlotte Flair being called out by Shane to speak her mind, and she's just kissing that ass, while Liv Morgan comes up to the other microphone and says that people like her are taking off time from her. And she looks at her and says, who the heck are you? Do you even work here? So that sets up a match between those two. And Shane McMahon tells him, that's enough, that next person, just brushing her off.
Trying to cut her off because
brush it, exactly. Next, we have, by name, Apollo Crews was one of the people that he was being called by, forgot somebody. Buddy Murphy would be mentioned after that, and he does not like the fact that Kevin Owens is mentioning his name out of his mouth, that it should keep his name out of it. And he plans on fighting him at one point in the future. So, Buddy Murphy is a heel that is on Shane McMahon's side. We now understand that. Even though he hasn't gotten any airtime at all since freaking WrestleMania. What the fuck?
Who?
Buddy Murphy, former Cruiserweight champion. 2 years ago. Well, yeah, last year. And, who else would be mentioned? We would have Apollo Crews after that. That's where Apollo Crews comes out to talk and is interrupted by Andrea and Zelina Vega. Gotta remember, it's not an S, it's a Z. And they would actually have a little bickerment of saying who's more of an athlete, and then he starts speaking to Spanish, in which I need to learn some Spanish, goddamn. Ultimately, we would have this argument go on back and forth, and Shane McMahon doesn't want to take up airtime, so he says, that's enough, it's now concluded, everybody leave. So basically, a lot of people didn't get everything off their chest. And he says that now that everybody is more happy in this, and we see Kevin Owens coming out while he's talking about that and gets stunned. And he runs the hell out. He was already kicked out and he got his way back in. How? We then have in the back, after the commercial break, Dolph Ziggler say that he's going to get his connections to fight Kevin Owens and deal with him. And he says, okay, good. If you can get him back in the arena, we'll do it. So he does that, and later on that night, it would be Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. So that mentioned. After the conference, before getting stunned, a Raw superstar, Cesaro, comes up and speaks to Shane McMahon, asking him one question, that he wishes to challenge Aleister Black to pick a fight with him. And he says, you want it? You got it. Rematch of Extreme Rules between Cesaro and Aleister Black. Ultimately, that match concedes right after the incident with Kevin Owens stunning Shane McMahon, and it didn't disappoint. It did not disappoint. That match was phenomenal, just like it was at Extreme Rules. Ultimately ending with Aleister Black kicking him upside the head, and which he calls fade to black.
I don't know about phenomenal because you gotta get more interesting when you put Aleister Black against a top guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like Seth Rollins and AJ Styles and Samoa Joe and Brock Lesnar.
I want to see Aleister Black against Samoa Joe. I'm not gonna lie. I want to see that. I want to see that. He's definitely both of them. I'm going to say it. I see both Cesaro and Aleister Black as world champion title picture. I see that. Hopefully this year they get that.
If the fans like them.
Oh yeah, there's Cesaro's section still. Believe it or not, I see Cesaro's section still flying around.
I'm talking about everybody, man.
Yeah.
No, because that's what they said. If they like you. Like if you're a guy like Seth Rollins, Brock Lesnar, or AJ Styles, or Randy Orton, or John Cena, or The Rock, Stone Cold, that's when they like you.
Yeah. Well, in that case, by a show of fans, the one who's really selling signs right now is Bayley. Yeah. The hugger section is everywhere. Yeah. That's who's selling most product right now, because I think either they hand those out for free or they charge 50 cents or $1 for those signs. And, well, bringing in some cash by a show of hands.
Put asses and seats to get that level. Mm. And they're saying that Cesaro hasn't done that yet.
Not yet. Next, we have Charlotte Flair against Liv Morgan. And Liv Morgan put up one hell of a fight, but at the end, she tapped out to the figure 4, turned into the figure 8 leg lock, and Charlotte Flair is regrettably once again being looked at for the future title picture. Not again. Gives everybody else a chance. Come on. Well, I might get that in just a bit. Yep. We then see R-Truth hiding in a freaking washing machine and breaks it while trying to get out. He didn't get pinned or chased this time, but he's still on the run. We then have Bayley. Wait, no, screw that. We have the tag team match where Ember Moon had to pick a partner or come in by herself in a 2-on match against the Fire and Desire tag team of Sonya Deville and, per request of Xavier. And you?
Yes.
Oh, I heard Xavier ask, not you.
He said,
to me, to whisper her name.
Yeah, but did you see our text when he said happy to our girl, Mandy Rose?
Yeah, I know, but you weren't the one that asked me to whisper, Mandy, like that. Shout out to you, Xavier. I'm just giving you what you want, my brother.
You gotta do this,
Mandy. You touched me when you did that. Oh, chills down my spine. Don't do that. Do it again. And then you creep me out, bro. You're right next to me when you whisper that. And you had to touch me. I said chills down my spine.
Imagine you going to see Goldust.
See, I don't have to because I've seen his new gimmick.
That's why you're sitting right behind us.
Nope. Oh, thank you. Bayley accepted the offer, which I kind of said already. I laid up. It says Bayley right here before Ember Moon. That sucks. Well, ultimately, they won the match with a stunner. Custom stunner, really. Known as a corkscrew off the top rope flying stunner, in which Ember Moon just calls the Eclipse onto Mandy Rose.
That's more like a blockbuster.
Nope, they called it a stunner. Especially when she lands on her ass. Stunner! Eclipse! Onto Mandy! Onto Mandy Rose! 1, 2, 3. Kind of like not a flip. It's like this. I'll send it to y'all. I actually clipped it. That was I did something that you and Xavier are gonna hate. Y'all gonna hate me. You're like, why you do that? Because it's my girl Ember Moon showing off her custom stunner. Oh, by the way, that means we had 2 stunners in one night. 2 stunners in one night. One from Kevin Owens and one from Ember Moon.
But here's the thing: Stone Cold doesn't give Ember Moon credit.
I do. I still count it as a stunner. And ultimately, somebody else gives credit to Ember Moon because it is official. Ladies and gentlemen, Bayley decided to give Ember Moon a #1 contendership to the SmackDown Women's title at Extreme Rules. So it would be one of my top picks, Ember Moon versus the hugger, Bayley. Who is going to win? I hope it's my girl.
I'm gonna say this. Xavier, I know you agree with me with this. Mandy Rose deserves a title.
I will not say no to that. If she gets it, she gets it. I'm not going to say no.
No, take Ember Moon out. That's what I'm saying.
They might try to make it a triple threat, considering what happened. I imagine where the storyline was going between Ember Moon and Mandy Rose. I imagine, yeah. I could see that turn into a triple threat at SummerSlam. somehow. I'm not gonna say no. If I see the storyline how it's going, I might agree with you. That might turn out to be what it is.
Well, if you're forgetting one thing, the person who might try cause the match, who might try
Sonya Deville.
No, well, her and but I'm also thinking Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. They might try cause that match.
Yeah, I think they ended that storyline after Extreme Rules.
No, that's put on hold. If you know that, that's put on hold to Alexa Bliss gets better.
Okay, we'll have to wait and see. Next, we have the New Day heckling Daniel Bryan and made major announcement, which he never even told. He just kept coming in and out, deciding to go in the ring and fight them. No, he decides. And then he comes back in there. No, he gets what the hell? He did it 3 times. What the fuck? Ultimately, we are then introduced to Samoa Joe and saying that he's not done with Kofi Kingston. And then we're interrupted with Elias. And then finally, Randy Orton makes an appearance and says that he wants that title.
Because he never lost it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and he wants to add a new reign to his profile. He's 14-time right now?
13.
I'm trying to think. 13? Well, he wants to add up to his... Triple H is 14-time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, he wants to match it up with Triple H. So, considering Elias offered this, he said that how about we 3 take on those 3 and show them how it's done. And they are like, champion huddle. Oh, fun fact. Kofi Kingston referred to him and his buddies as black leprechauns because they got all the gold.
Sting's also 14 as well.
Wait, there you go. And Xavier Woods actually says, this is white gold. That's a white gold. Baby! All that crap. Yeah. I didn't know there was a such thing as white gold. I've heard of it. I thought it was just calling it ice as in diamonds. Nope. That's what the Raw and SmackDown tag team belts are made of, white gold. And I think the Cruiserweight title as well. That's interesting to know.
Actually, this what I heard is being silver.
No, they said it. White gold.
Not talking about the tag team.
Yeah. White gold. It's not silver, it's white gold. I looked it up. I was like, oh shit, what the fuck? It's a real thing. Well, ultimately, Randy Orton was not up to the idea until... It just got hot in here because of the fact that I just remembered that. Dude. Kofi Kingston referred to Randy Orton as the Viper and said that he's going limp because he's getting older. He's getting limp, bro. He can't handle it the hard way like he used to.
Randy Orton's gonna kill him anyway.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton. I want to see that now. I'm sorry. I want to see that. I want to see that.
You're gonna do
SummerSlam. Come on.
There's been comments. There's people commenting about that saying Kofi gonna get himself killed with Randy Orton.
Well, evidently, we have the rated R. No, not rated R.
No,
I was going to say rated R KO.
The Viper.
The Viper, the Legend Killer, himself, the Apex Predator, Randy Orton getting the win for his team of Samoa Joe and Elias on the New Day with the one hit, one done RKO. 3 deadly letters of WWE.
Which is his first middle name and last name.
Mm-hmm.
Randall Keith Orton.
There you go. Next up, we would have the actual titles on the line, the Tag Team Women's Championships between the Iconics and the Kabuki Warriors. Sadly, it didn't end out how we would hope. The Kabuki Warriors of Asuka and Kairi Sane actually was having the edge and would have almost win the match, arguably. The reason why it's arguably is because the Iconics took the cheap win.
I told you they're like the Bellas Twins.
Yep. They actually got the count out on purpose, and by regulations, by disqualifications or count out, the title does not change unless the speculations modified for that reason. So, if you think about it, no matter how the rules are twisted, they are still obligated for a rematch since they won that way. The Iconics will have to defend their titles sometime in the future, hopefully SummerSlam.
But you don't know if they're gonna get the Cody wasn't getting a tag title shot.
That's what I'm hoping. I want to see them change those titles because they just as bad as freaking. Well, no, actually they're worse. They weren't booked. I know they weren't booked for Super Beatdown in Saudi Arabia. That's understandable. But after WrestleMania, they weren't booked for Money in the Bank. They weren't booked for Stomping Ground, and they weren't booked for Extreme Rules. They looking at this as longest tag team holders, longest tag team holders. I'm looking at the person who's being overlooked.
But here's the thing.
That's what I'm thinking. That's an insult.
Here's the thing they always say there's no such thing as that. You have to be the longest reigning tag team champion to get to hold it for months.
I know.
Yeah.
It's been 3 months! 3 months!
More than 3 months, bro.
Wait, the Super Show, was there 2 pay-per-views in that day? Super Show, Showdown was 1, maybe it's been 4 months. What up? April, okay, May, June, July. Yeah, just 3. Okay, I'm running back. So just 3 months!
Yeah, you have to be more, I have to hold it more than that. Look how Randy Orton, when he was in
Well, the title's still new, that's why. Yeah. It's only 2 holders, that's it. 2 tag team holders.
Look at Randy Orton and JBL and MVP. And Dean Ambrose.
Well, they had it longer because the titles weren't new.
That's what I'm saying. You have to hold it longer.
Yeah. Like that. Well, anyway, next up we have Apollo Crews versus Andrea again. And again, he jumps him before the bell rings. And has dominating. And you would think he was about to win again in the same fashion. Nope, Apollo Crews got a quick boy pin. Woohoo! Got the win. And Zelina Vega is Cena Ghost like, what just happened? What just happened? Your boy Andrea lost.
Oh, you know boy, that's Charlotte Flair's boyfriend.
Who?
Andrea.
Oh, I said her boy, meaning she's managing him, not boyfriend. She's married to Aleister Black, who we covered got a win on Cesaro. Yeah. Finally, we have Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler, and the match would continue. You can hold your phone now. The match would ultimately continue to have not even a non-contest because of the fact that almost at the end of the match, we'd have Shane McMahon with a swarm of heels, including AOP, Authors of Pain. So they're on his side too, and they didn't even get any airtime since one of them came back from injury and haven't been put in a match. So, ish. So, as sad as that sounds, they would try to, Shane McMahon pulls Kevin Owens' leg, knowing he was about to get the win after using the stunner,